Good afternoon. My name is Joe Bandel and I am the last Rosicrucian. Today we're going to talk about Oak Advantage number 2, Child of the Past. So let's dive into it. There's a child inside of us, our inner child. We've heard about that, talked about that. But the child of the past exists in every adult within the memories of childhood. What's the earliest childhood memory that you have? I can remember sitting on the running board of my grandpa's pickup truck during a silage chopping session out on the farm. And my father said that I must have only been about 2 years old when I had that memory because that was the only time they had the people out. We moved into that farm when I was 2, and that was about the only time that the neighbors had come over to help chop the corn into silage for us. So that's kind of interesting. Uh, but I still have a vague. It's a faded memory. It's a vague memory, but I have that. And I have some other memories going back about that far. Not really much earlier than that I'm aware of. There are a few, but I'm going to keep that to myself. But anyway, there's that inner child, and that child keeps searching for a life of adventure, discovery, value, and happiness. I remember when I was a kid and the world was just so exciting to explore. I had a little magnifying glass, and I remember, oh wow, this is cool. Look at how everything looks big, looking at small things, and we'd run around. Being in the country and on the farm was probably the greatest thing that could have happened in terms of just a wonderful place for exploration. And I remember talking to my dad several years ago, and he said, I still feel like that kid I was back in 12th grade. And now here I am. He's gone. I'm 65, and I can say the same thing. I can say I still remember like I am the kid that I was in high school. I remember what that was like, and some of the things that were fun and some of the things that were not so fun. So it's inside, it's there. And that's where we can find our inner child and find that sense of adventure, that sense of fun, that sense of discovery. There's a lot of power in recovering those feelings, those passions for life. But even more than that, there's genetic memories or instincts that we might not even be aware of that are factors in our life. I know that there were studies of chickens, that newly hatched chickens, that would flee in panic when the shadow of a hawk crossed the chicken yard. And they'd never seen a chicken hawk or anything like that, or a hawk or whatever. They'd never seen anything like that. It was purely instinctive. And I remember my own children seeing a picture in a book, seeing a picture of snakes, and being afraid. And they'd never seen a snake. And I have a fear of snakes, okay? Well, where does that memory come from? That's hidden deep. That's, you can call it a racial memory, you can call it a genetic memory, but those memories are there. And a person can go even further and they can say past lives. There's past lives memory and there's past life karma, and that a lot of the situations that come up in our lives are the consequences of trying to clear some of this past life karma. There's been quite a few studies of that and a lot of work with hypnosis. I remember in my past life, my immediate past life, I believe that I was the author, Hans Heinz Ewers. That's why I was so fascinated with translating his work in this lifetime and learning as much about him as I could. But that's it. That's part of the that's what we're talking about, the inner child, discovering the child of the past. It can mean all of those things. There's resources, there's skills, there's knowledge that we can tap into, all kinds of it that we can tap into if we allow ourselves to tap into that knowledge. And it can help us where we are right today. And that's especially important now with the Earth's ascension, Gaia's ascension, where the cycle is starting fresh and the activity is at the root chakra center. The activity is at the etheric level. The activity, that position of energetic empowerment is no longer up here where it was during the last 2,000 years when Christianity was the dominant force in the world. That was a spiritual force. And that was the end of the cycle. And we are currently living the end of one cycle and the beginning of a new cycle. And the new cycle always starts out at the bottom. Every 2,000 years, another chakra center lights up. Well, we're back at the root chakra, which is survival. And survival is going to be the dominant concern. And you can see this happening in our world today. And however you want to put it, whatever you want to look at, there's an issue of just staying alive, just staying healthy. And if there's memories from the past, that past child, that can act as a resource to help us to find passion in life, a quality life, a reason for living, an enjoyment, a richness, we got to go for it. Because this is the time, and the universe itself, all the stresses that we're dealing with, it's pushing us, it's forcing us to confront these things and to get down to the core issues in life. And those are the issues that we confronted in our early childhood. So like it or not, we're being forced back into that childhood. But we can go back to the exciting, the adventure, the competency, the sense of being able to do things. And that's the better approach rather than a fearful approach. Now, the 114 oak advantages will help awaken that inner child and kindle the sense of wonder at discovering a strange yet beautiful new world. These are these advantages that I'm going to be talking about are going to open up a brand new world. You'll see things from a different perspective. Uh, it's it's really going to be exciting. It's going to bring that excitement back rather than being stuck in a soul-sucking job or environment. There's ways of breaking out of that and finding reasons to get up in the morning and be alive. Any way that we can do that is a good thing, because life is too short. We need to squeeze every drop of essence. We need to drink life deeply. Okay? And as we rediscover this inner child and break free from all the traps that we've allowed to generate, to be created around us, that we've allowed, we can also break free from the people the people and events that are hurting us, that are holding us back. And sad to say, a lot of times those people are some of the ones that are closest to us, particularly uh, relatives, because they have the deepest connection to us, our blood relations, our blood relatives. If your family is not supporting you, if your family is against what you're doing, that can be the most powerful force of blocking you that exists. It is so powerful that if you're in a situation where your family is not supportive of you, of who you are and what you're trying to do in life, you're better off finding a family that will be. In a lot of cases, that's what happened to me, and I had to distance myself from my parents and siblings because there's no way that they could be supportive of my life path and my life choices, even though we love each other. It's just too strange for them. And that hurts. I'm glad that my brother, who bought the family farm, is open to my coming out and spending some time when the weather's nice, spending a couple evenings camping out there at the farm and stuff. And we're reconnecting because I never got to know my brother very well, and we're learning about each other, and we are learning that we have more in common than we thought we did, which means for the first time in my life, my brother is actually supportive of me and what I'm trying to do. And I'm supportive of him. And because of that deep bond we have through family, that's powerful. And I'm glad that that can happen. I hope that things like that can happen for you. Now, if you think about who it is that's blocking you and preventing you from from finding your dream, from fulfilling your dream, from doing what you feel is meant to do. Think of the people who are trying to get your attention, trying to drag you into their drama. Because I'm going to tell you something, living a life of adventure and discovery is not living a life of drama. You have these people that are going from crisis to crisis to crisis. And they'll try to drag you into crisis because they can use your energy to help them out. But in that, they're draining you. And that's not where you want to be. Why do they go from crisis to crisis to crisis rather than from adventure to adventure to adventure? It's because the human mind can't take boring. It just can't take boring. And it would rather have a crisis, which is a kind of adventure in itself, than boring. So if you feel bored, if you feel like just listless and bored or whatever, that's a danger signal, because you're going to find you're either going to go into the drama crisis cycle, or you're going to find something that sets you on fire, that you can go after, a goal, a new interest. We need catalyst. Catalyst is what causes us to grow. Catalyst is what causes us to change, and it can be positive catalyst or it can be negative catalyst. Either way, we come out of it richer, wiser, and hopefully better for the experience rather than more deeply wounded. That sense of joy and wonder coming from our hearts is what's, that passion that just kind of lights up. When you find that, you know you're in the right track. And like a hound dog who's following a trail, you can trust that. And you can trust your heart. And you can trust the inner guide, that still small voice of your conscience that speaks from your heart and will guide you in the right direction if you will only learn to listen to it. You don't have to be stuck where you're at. And that's what these advantages are going to help you with. Look around you and see what you have surrounded yourself with. Because what you have surrounded yourself with is a clue to what you're going to do next, what you need to do next. If you truly want to find adventure, discovery, a life of value and happiness. Until next time, take care.